Hey everyone, sorry that I have to open this video with another apology just like the last one. We are 0 for 2 so far in episodes, but I'm sure as you can tell from the title and from what you see on the screen right now, I did lose the footage of the Year 1 playoffs with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I do not know what happened. I have all the footage from everything else for this part of the series because I sat down and recorded it all in one recording session. All the other footage is there. I even have the first part of the playoffs. It's only about 10 minutes or so. It's like the first 3 or 4 games because I had to step away while I was in the middle of the recording session. But just to quickly recap our playoff run, we did beat the Ottawa Senators in the first round, I believe in just 5 games. We ended up advancing to the conference finals. I can't remember who our second round opponent was. I believe it might have been the Philadelphia Flyers. We were able to advance all the way to the conference finals, and I'm sure as you can see on your screen right now, you can see from the 4-3 final score in the series, and also the fact that you can see 4 straight losses, we were reverse swept. I believe it is only the 3rd time, or 4th time actually, in NHL. No, I think it's 3rd. But it would have been only the 3rd time in NHL history that has happened, to my knowledge. I know that Mike Richards and Jeff Carter were both on the teams when it happened. The Philadelphia Flyers did it in 2010, and then the Los Angeles Kings did it in 2014, I believe. But yeah, so unfortunate start to this episode, but we weren't able to win the Stanley Cup, so the challenge continues on anyway. We're going to go ahead and cover the off-season in this episode for going into year 2, so hopefully you guys enjoy, and sorry for losing the amazing reactions to going up 3-0 and then getting swept in the last 4 games by the Devils, and an otherwise really interesting to watch playoff run. I promise you guys would have been entertained, but unfortunately we have to move on without it. So hopefully you guys can still enjoy the rest of this episode. Alright everyone, welcome back to the Canada Challenge here in NHL 22 franchise mode. And as you guys saw in the last episode, we were ousted in the Eastern Conference Finals after having a 3-0 lead by the New Jersey Devils, who are now going to go on to play the Arizona Coyotes in the finals. So I'm going to say right now, I think that we really squandered that golden chance. I don't know if we're going to have a better opportunity to win a finals in this entire series with this current team, just given the contract situation and also the fact that we really went all in last season and kind of gave up all of our good training assets. So going into this offseason, we won't have Radulov. We might not even have the cap space. I don't understand why they changed this either, but you can't see your cap space in the future anymore. You have to go way to the future. So unless this game somehow thinks that we're gonna have the exact same cap situation next year as we do this year, which seems like almost impossible. I just don't know why it won't show me for next year. So the year after, we obviously are going to have a lot of money, but I think we have even more people on free agent deals at that point. Yeah, we have Dermott. We're definitely, well, maybe not definitely, but Dermott we're going to try to re-sign. Kerfoot we're probably going to re-sign between now and then all these other guys that we're probably going to retain as well. So you got a big off season. I don't actually know cap space we're going to have. I'm going to simulate day by day during the finals because I'm actually legitimately curious to see who is going to win. We're going to go ahead and check our playoff stats as well. So there's a couple things I need to do, or my goal in this offseason. One, I want to get a better goalie than Mrazek, or at least a goalie on a better contract, because I want to roll with Drieger this year. I think he has been long deserving of a starting spot, at least in this world of the NHL, because he barely played for us after we traded for him. So Tavares Matthews, I'm really happy with, and then Gusev was kind of a surprise as well. Marner had a tough start, but he kind of recovered. We need more out of him. We need him to have similar, maybe a few more points. I guess his production's still good, but it needs to be at an elite level. Kerfoot, Riley. I'm honestly, offensively, I think we did good. The only people who weren't, scoring like crazy were people who were on our 4th line. And even then, Raffle had 3 goals, and then I still benched him at the end anyway. And then I think the big thing for us is just timeliness, and then defense needs to be cleaned up too. But we literally didn't lose a game in regulation with Drieger. We were 6-0-1. We lost that one game in the first round. We had a 2-0 lead against Boston. And I think if Drieger plays, we might even win that series in 5 games instead of 6, and then have even more momentum heading into the last round. So I think that injury did drastically change our playoff outlook. And I didn't check goalie contracts when I was looking at the contracts that we had. But he's signed for less money than Mrazek, slightly, not very much, but for the same amount of time and 2 years younger. So I want to keep him, and I want to trade Mrazek, or try to trade Mrazek for somebody younger on a little bit better of a contract, even if they're like 1 or 2 less overall. I want to try and find a trade. I don't know how possible that's going to be in this game, given that the trade values are so much worse than they were the previous years, which I think is better. It's going to make trading a lot more difficult and more team building centric. Just a bad year for me to pick to do this challenge. But I think we have a lot of guys on a really good contract. Like Suter might decline if his potential goes down after the season, like going into the offseason. I'm probably going to try and deal him for somebody a little bit younger. Muzzin, I think we kind of need to get rid of just because he is only an 84 overall, making that amount of money. Dermott's on a really good contract. Hall's on a really good contract. I'm fine with them. We need to re-sign Sandin. I need to re-sign Gusev depending on the price. Kosh is restricted, so we should be able to get him back for not a whole lot. Kerfoot looks overpaid, but if he can produce at a similar level to last year, I'm totally fine with that. And then we got cost-controlled assets here. Got Geeky. We need to find a third-line center. We got a lot on our to-do list for this offseason, I just realized. In the system, though, looking at our progression, it looks like we might be able to play Anderson in the NHL next year as a fourth liner, I'm hoping. But not exactly the type of progression I'd hoped for from like Liljegren, who I was hoping would be already like an 80 by now. We'll see if the offseason progresses him anymore. Robertson might be good enough to be in the NHL next year. It's going to depend a lot on offseason progression, but we'll see once we get there. We're going to sim up to the draft. I don't think we have any draft picks. We might have a first rounder. Maybe. But if we do, then I'm probably going to try and trade that. So let's go ahead. We're going to advance day by day here for a little bit see the finals. So Devils take 1. Devils take 2. There's not going to be a game today. Arizona... We're just going to do best lines for right now. We're going into off-season. Arizona, 3-1, Devils, and Devils win in 5. All right, so, and the Utica Comets win the Calder. So, Vancouver got a bright future. The Devils end up, after coming back from down 3-0, they end up winning the Stanley Cup Finals. We're going to go ahead and check awards real quick in just a sec. So, jump down here. And awards. Obviously, Devils won the Stanley Cup. Colorado had the President's Trophy. We already knew that. We already knew that, too. All right, so that's it. Individual awards. We had Kucherov ended up being Rfas. Hart goes to Patrice Bergeron, which is kind of surprising. Norris McCarr. Zegras with the Calder. Conn Smythe goes to Hushe. And Vezina Darcy Kemper. One with the Jennings. Hamonic gets the... Ottawa's coach gets the Jack Adams, which if they had a performance in real life like they did in this game, he's probably in the running. Selke goes to Crosby, and Ted Lindsay goes to Bergeron. We already knew that Matthews had his second straight. Maurice Richard, Art Ross. We're going back in a circle. Okay, so some surprises in there. I wasn't expecting Bergeron to win an MVP, especially so late in his career, but that's not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll just sim straight to the draft. Like I said, I think we only have 1 pick. So lottery, the Islanders ended up having a really bad year. They're going to have the first pick. Vancouver has the second pick. And Pittsburgh falls from 1 to 3. San Jose, Los Angeles. Nobody else really moved. So it's fine. We're going to jump right into the draft. I did not do like any scouting for this. I don't know if there's anybody good. So retired players. Spezza might retire, but I'm not sure. Okay, so Kessler, Seabrook, Molson, Boychuk, Lord Karpikowski. Then these guys aren't as notable. So goalies, we'll check real quick, and nobody good. Okay. All right, so I did a bunch of pre-draft interviews, not realizing we didn't have any actual draft picks. So I'm just gonna cut all that out. we're trying to swing a trade here with Miragic. We had like 2 or 3 teams interested, but I went with the Red Wings. Whoops, I have to do all that again. I went with the Red Wings because I think that we can actually get a pretty solid goalie and a pick back, and they are interested. They're one of the few teams that are interested in Miragic. So the goal here with this trade was we're going to get a next year's pick too. We're not getting any picks in this draft because I don't have this draft scouted out very much, and we're probably only going to use these for trade assets at the deadline anyway. So we're going to go for Nedeljkovic, who's got 2 more years left. I don't know if that's 2 or 1, but if it's only 1, that's still fine with me. He's pretty similar performance-wise, but he was in front of a worse defensive core, obviously, than the one that we're going to have. He's in all 85s, at least for reflexes. I think he'll be a solid return on investment. He saves us some money. I trust him a little bit more, I think, in the playoffs, and also 1 less year of contract. So we're going to try and swing this, and they go ahead and do accept it. I thought they might reject it, and we would have to drop down to a 4th, but that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and keep looking for some more trades and see what we can find. All right, Columbus is another team that was interested. Let's go ahead and try and get Jake Bean. 1-for-1 trade, just salary save. And, all right, we finally got a trade. Jake Bean is a little bit worse, but I'm totally willing to take that for the $3 million that we saved. I'm going to still be looking for more trades, so we'll be right back. All right, so this is actually kind of cool. I decided not to make any more trades, but we get a draft recap now, which is really cool. I think this actually might have been a thing in last year's game. I just wish it would tell you, like, more information just than the person's name. That's really not useful, but it's a good feature that they semi-added. So we didn't end up making any more trades. As you can see, we're going to sim to the re-sign phase. We got a lot of players who are going to be restricted free agents, which is kind of surprising because you don't think of Toronto as like a particularly young team a lot of times. Even though, you know, Marner only like they're both 25 or under. We got like no cap space, so this is going to be a little bit of a problem, and I think Gusev is going to ask for a lot more than I'm willing to pay him. Yeah, a lot more. So he's going to end up walking. Radulov, I want to wait to sign until free agency. So we're really going to be running into the offseason with kind of just the guys we got. So let's start with RFAs. We got quite a few. So we got Sandin, who I'm going to qualify right now. Hopefully he jumps up because I'm really expecting big things out of him. And he already wants a big deal. So I'm assuming he's going to jump up at least like 2 or 3 overall this offseason. If we give him a 3-year deal, I think that's the best compromise based on our cap situation right now. What does Kosh want? He wants a big, pretty sizable deal too. Let's go ahead and what does Engvall want? He wants a 1-way deal, so we're going to release Engvall. Liljegren's also a free agent. And if I give him 1, it doesn't look like Liljegren's going to get any better, which is unfortunate. We'll give him the 1-year deal, and he'll still be qualified next year. And he'll probably take $8.25, I think. But I'm not going to qualify him, obviously. Senny, these guys are good for the minor leagues, but we can find better minor league depth, I think. We have a lot of guys. So, like, both top 6 D potential by Kokkonen, we're going to re-sign. This guy is horrible, so we're going to release him. Same with this guy. Hollowell still has potential to get better, so we'll re-sign him. Cannell, Manel, sorry. I'm going to release him. We can always re-sign him if we want. Brooks we're going to release. This guy is gone. This guy is also gone. And that cleared out our system pretty fast. Alright, so I want to qualify Kosh as well. And we're also, what is Geeky after? He doesn't. I don't know if he's going to get that much better. He actually still wants a 2-way deal. So, I can definitely pull that off. Let's do 2 years, though. See where he's at after that. I think that's our 4th line center going into this year. Liljegren we made an offer to. Senny, I'm going to hold on to Senny. He's probably going to want to He actually wants a real contract. Never mind. We're going to release him. We're going to replace all these guys with two-way guys. All right, so Kosh wants about $3 million, and what does he want for, like, it's the same. Get him on a long-term deal even if we wanted. I'm actually really comfortable with doing that. Like, the difference between like 3 and 5 at that point is negligible, and we can probably get like a 2.85 on that. And that'll work out if we want to trade him later. I'm definitely fine with that. All right, and then Sandin. What are we gonna do with Sandin? I don't want a bridge deal, honestly. Like, I don't feel comfortable giving him this contract yet. I might end up regretting it later. Actually, you know what? What if we do this? No, I just don't. I don't see him jumping like he hasn't jumped yet. So I don't really know what we should do. It's either 3 or 8. I'm not doing 6. So, well, we're gonna do the 3-year deal for now. He expires. It'll still be a restricted free agent. I'm fine doing the bridge deal. We'll save a little bit of cap space now. We'll do 4.75 for 3. All right, so that takes care of our restricted free agents. Let's go ahead and skip a day, and then we'll take a look at potentially tackling some of our unrestricted guys. Kosh renewed, Sandin renewed. Okay. Geeky wanted a 2-way but didn't for some reason. So I don't understand why. It might have been because of the years. So we'll go back, re-sign Faze. Phase, and I'm going to qualify him as well. I don't think he's going to hit free agency, but we'll do 1-year deal for Geeky then. I'm fine with that. I just didn't want him to become like an unrestricted free agent. Alright, so in terms of actual unrestricted free agents, we're going to get rid of you because you're horrible. Also, same to this guy. Top 9 forward, he's only a 64 overall, already 20. I'm going to pass on that. And with Gabriel, we're going to have a lot of guys we need to really fill out our minor league system. We can get better depth. Raffle, I do have interest in signing, and he only wants a 2-way deal, so I'm fine with that. Spets is an interesting one because he wants real money, and I don't really want to give him that, so we'll come back to him. Mikheyev was a good 4th liner. Gusev wants too much money, and Radulov also wants too much money. We only have like $6 million left. I just want to make sure there's nobody else we can like go ahead and try and get rid of, like just dump off. We have that Riley extension's kind of rough. Kerfoot's money is a little bit much, but he actually jumped up to an 84, so he's probably going to want even more money after this year. He might be somebody that we end up looking into trading, potentially. But we have a lot of big contracts on this team, so it's going to be really tough to try and fill out the margins. That's why I said, like, last year was like a golden opportunity for us. Golden opportunity. I just completely backed out of contracts, too. So we're probably not going to be able to retain any of our free agents. Gusev was a great trade, too. That's the thing that sucks the most. So let's see, if we don't sign these guys, what do we kind of have to work with on our team? So top 2 lines, Kerfoot's borderline 2nd liner. We have most of these guys are free agents. We are definitely thin. That's for sure. But hopefully Robertson can jump up. We do need to sign like basically an entire minor league. That's not a great sign. We have like basically no prospects, no assets. We also have retained salary too. That's probably part of what's messing us up at least. So I'd like to hold on to Spezza, but I think I'm going to take it into free agency and wait a little bit. So we'll wait on Geeky, and like I said, Raff on a 2-way deal is not going to affect our cap. So I'm going to send to free agency. Hopefully those guys accept between now and then, and we will see you shortly. All right, so we're into free agency, and we probably don't have a lot of money to work with the top guys. There's actually really not that much available in terms of not restricted free agents. Actually, Johnny Gaudreau ends up hitting free agency, and Claude Giroux. That's actually a pretty solid free agent, top two at least. Ricard Raquel, Klingberg is a free agent, Perrin, actually, Ryan Pulock. There's a lot of good guys that are available. We don't have any money though, so what we do need to do also is we gotta sign a lot of guys on two-way deals. So I'm just gonna organize by potential, and go from here. So we got somebody with top 6 medium. He's probably not going to be very good, but we're just gonna offer some of these guys just two-way deals. We need minor leaguers, so I'll probably do like 10. I don't want to sign anybody too old, so it's restricted free agent. I also don't want to sign anybody who's too bad either. Like, sure, McKenzie, why not? We also need some defensemen as well. We'll go with this guy. He was a good asset to have too. And then I don't know why I didn't sign him. Oh, he's a okay. I did try to sign him. I remember now. And then this guy might jump, so I'll take a flyer on him. He's also a restricted free agent. Never mind. A little top 4D. We'll just do Honka. Why not? Okay. So that should fix our minors. Like I said, we have a lot of holes on this team. Kosh is probably going to end up being our second line player this year. And Kerfoot too. So we basically need an entire third line. And we have like $5 million to do that with because I need to leave some space open. So we're basically going to be signing a bunch of 81s. And then hoping for the best. So, with that said, let's try and get some good value out of this. So, Bobby Ryan, top 6 potential still. He's going to drop, probably. But he only wants under $2 million, so that's pretty solid. We might come back to him. I'm going to look at my options. Mikheyev still only wants that 1.7. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and get him for 1.5. But I think that's a solid deal for him. So that's good. Let's see. Anybody else? We have Bozak. We'll bring Bozak back. I just don't want to... We'll be a little bit careful with this. Gaudet. Adam Gaudet is a free agent for some reason. Must be the Canucks ran out of money. And he only wants 1.7, so let's go ahead and throw that at him. Alright, so that's good. 1.5 for Blackwell as well. Patan. Ooh, this is a good signing right here, potentially. He actually played in the NHL last year. Like, legit. He's an unrestricted free agent with top 6 potential still. And he's 23 years old. And he only wants $1 million. And he's going to be controllable next year. I'm going to go ahead and offer Bemstrom a contract as well. Hudon Milano, Hosang. Brendan Peary might not be a bad option as a depth guy. A lot of these guys, it also like depends on like their role too. I'm gonna go ahead and sign Peary. I don't want him for 2 though. I only want him for 1. I doubt he's gonna accept that because I did that, but we need to at least try. Timashov. He actually was really. I don't understand some of the logic with it. Well, he played in the minors, so I guess that actually kind of explains it. But as a depth guy, I wouldn't mind having him. We're just gonna sign these guys, and then if we end up signing them in minor leagues, it's not really a loss. But I think that's all the guys we really have money for right now. So let's go ahead and sim a couple days and see what happens. And we're gonna get really ridiculous trade offers. Alright, so this is gonna be most of the two-way guys that we tried to sign, I think. Alright, so Adam Gaudette signed. No, Bemstrom didn't sign. Damn it. Anderson and Gauthier. Alright, Mikheyev wants more money. Peary we got. Okay. Alright, so how much money do we have left over? Like I said, I want to keep money also for the trade deadline. We still have $5 million. I feel like that can't be right. Well, there was a couple guys who didn't accept offers though, so there's nobody like high that's asking for like significantly less than their worth, right? We had Jeff Carter already. I don't really want to do that again. Gusev doesn't have like any interest on him either, so we're gonna keep an eye. If we can get Gusev back, I don't want him for 5 years. That's the thing. And then we can also find those guys like at the trade deadline. Ooh, actually, let's go. Let's throw a deal at Paul Stastny. He's good. He will be a good fit, even if he regresses a little bit. He shouldn't too much because he's got that top 6. But he'd be a good third line center. And then pair him with a sniper. We gotta get a sniper in here. We get Bobby Ryan for like 1.6 for 1 year also. He actually wants more if it's 1 year. So we'll do the 1.8 for 1 year. I got Stastny's 1 year too, right? Alright. Might be a little bit more than I had expected to spend. But if we can do that kind of, I think I really solidify. I hate this game sometimes. Holy crap. I really think that would solidify our third line. Been a couple days. I haven't heard anything back. And Stastny went to the Kings. All right, we got Bob Ryan, but now we don't have the guy, like the guy to set him up. Like I said, Kerfoot and Kosh, they're gonna be second line probably this year. We need the guy who's also cheap. Maybe it's Eric Stahl. He's not a playmaker though. He's a two-way forward. So that is kind of unfortunate. Jumbo Joe? Is that the direction we should go in? I think it might be. You know, decline like a mother, but it's alright. That'll be our last signing. Alright, if we can do that, I'm comfortable with just simming in the regular season and checking like progression by that point. I feel like he's... Damn, he went back to the Sharks. Oh my god, we can't get anybody. I needed somebody cheap, third line center. Are any of these guys' price going down? I didn't realize Ethan Bear was a free agent either. I almost traded for him too. I'm glad I didn't know. Man, Carter's tempting, but that would eat up all of our cap space. Same with Dustin Brown. Dustin Brown would be amazing if he wanted less money. Some of these guys' prices are starting to drop. But not into a range where we can afford it. unfortunately. And we might have to roll with a different plan at center at this point. We're going to 3 more days. Go to like the 17th. Alright. Jump back in. Anybody... It doesn't look like anybody's contract demands are really going down. It actually looks like it might be even getting worse. A lot of these like second tier guys now are getting signed. I'm kind of tempted to bring back Bozak though. There's 2 teams interested, which makes it a little bit more complicated though. So we'll go ahead, we'll keep simulating like week, but let's go week by week and see if anybody like drops or doesn't get signed, and like we can like swoop in and take. I really should have tried to extend Gusev. I didn't think about it, but I should have tried to extend Gusev like last year. I don't want PK Subban. I also just traded them. Detroit's 3rd round pick, I think. Nope. Nope. I just gave you Brody. I'm good. I do not want Brody back. Please do not give me TJ Brody back. Alright. So, free agency. We simulate probably a little bit too far. I probably should have only done like a few days. Whatever. Let's take a look at the landscape now and see if there's anybody we want to make moves on. Looks like everybody's gone. Actually, I did not organize it correctly, so that's my fault. It doesn't look like anybody's price is really going down. Like Gusev's so expensive. Carter and Brown have gone down. Now Brown is in a range where we might be able to afford him. Also, Stahl now only wants $2 million. Why are you the only one who's still being like crazy? All right, so there's still no teams interested yet. I'm gonna go ahead and play it kind of day by day. We're gonna jump ahead to like the 4th, and look now. See if anybody's kind of changed their mind. Yeah, there's a lot of guys with interest now. Pavelski, he's still out of our price range anyway. But I think all these guys' prices are still the same. So, ahead a little bit. Another like 3-4 days. Take a look. Like I said, I want these guys' price to get down. Okay, so Carter's gone. No, Carter's not gone. Carter dropped again, though, I think. I don't think... Was it that low before? It might have been. Okay, now we can get Gusev back. He wants a 1-year deal for $3.25. I will definitely do that. There is one other team interested, and that's Anaheim. So what I'll do is I'll jump it up to 3.5, and then I have Dustin Brown and Eric Stahl as backup plans. I probably should have checked that a little bit. I don't know what actual day it like changes. So if we can bring back Gusev, I'll be happy with that. All right, so we got Gusev back on a 1-year deal. That's good. We'll go ahead and sim to the start of the regular season. Alright, so before we set the lines, I actually was going through and I found a couple of people who are on the trade block. And the first one I'm going to try and trade for is from Calgary. They have Andrew Mangiapane, who is on the trading block. He's a restricted free agent right now, excuse me. I'm trying to see if this return will be enough. I don't think it will. I'm going to go ahead and propose this trade real quick. So we'll see what else we have that they're interested in. But outside of him, I was actually looking at somebody else. I haven't organized my salary still. They have a tough salary cap situation to try and trade with right now, though, because they just acquired Claude Giroux, and he's making about $8 million this year. I don't think we're going to be able to make this trade work, honestly. None of these guys really have like significant trade value. And then pretty much everybody else, I gotta mute my actual TV. Pretty much everybody else, I want to hold on to. I'll be willing to go with Beaky. We acquired him for nothing. We'll see if Calgary is willing to accept this. We have to take back Justin Braun in return, just for salary cap purposes. We're giving up Dermott, who is still has top 4 defensive potential, but he's already 25. He played really well for us as far as I remember last year, and even in the playoffs, I think. Yeah, he was solid. But he doesn't fit with our current chemistry. We have we have a really strong defensive core even without him. So we're gonna see if they'll accept this trade with Geeky added. It doesn't look like we're really even close in value. But anyway, there's another player on the trading block that I want to try and make a move for, and this is really an all-in move. This is another restricted free agent, so we'd have to try and find money to sign him. We're gonna remove all this, and that player is Brock Besser, 90 overall. Doesn't have very high trade value though. He has high elite potential. And we had a trade. I had like the bones of the trade in place. It was something built around Kerfoot and Bean. And then we can slot the remaining defenseman we have in that other spot. But I think instead of trading Bean, I actually want to see if Dermott would make this trade work, because they are also interested in him, and it doesn't look like the trade value is all that far off either. They do need to give us a player back, but luckily they have a exact kind of player that we need to make this trade work, which is actually we can take back Rowney, because I actually want to trade him. I was going to take back Travis Hamonic, and then what we'll do is we'll find another team, and we'll go ahead and trade Rowney for like a 7th round pick to get him off of our books. A team with like a lot of salary cap space. And right now the values are a little bit off. Actually, Rowney has, well, according to this, he has like a decent amount of trade value. I was kind of trying to look for somebody who didn't have very much. So actually we will switch. I don't know why he has so much trade value, to be honest. Or should we switch to Ulevy? Only Ulevy doesn't really have very much trade value either. But he also doesn't make this trade work. This trade worked with Hamonic when I just tried it. Hold on. Maybe if we add. Well, if this is not gonna make a difference, I'd rather trade for Ulevy because he's already good right now. Is he right-handed? I think he is. No, he's left-handed. Has he been productive? He has played 3 games in the NHL. He's an 83 overall. Really be just to make the... You know what? We're going to have to trade away whoever we get, and... yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit easier, more realistic to trade. So we also want to throw in our 1st round pick, and I will retain money. No, I can't. I need as much to sign Besser as we possibly can. So we need to find another player who has like no value, that's making like $1 million or so, that we can then turn around and trade to a team that's got like Pullman. Great example. He has a 3-year contract though, and it still doesn't work. Now it says we're over the salary cap. This trade might not work. As sad as it is to say, I might have to end up going in a different direction. What about Aberg instead? Okay, that would make it work. Where are we if I offer this trade right now? We'd be trading Kerfoot, Dermott, and a 1st round pick. We'd have to bring back Aberg, Ulevy in order to get Brock Besser. Is this a trade that we can pull off? It doesn't look like it, but I think that we can find something else that they are interested in to throw into this trade. if I didn't have it organized from bottom to top, it would probably help too. But I'll tell you what, since we're acquiring Levy, the only thing is Liljegren's right-handed, so we can trade another one of our left-handed defensemen. Unfortunately, they all make real money. That's the problem with our team right now, is everyone's got like a really big contract. Liljegren, as much as him being right-handed helps, I think since it's just a sim, it doesn't really matter. So add him into the trade. We'll see if that makes it work. And it does. So we got Brock Besser. Now, we're going to do assistant GM best roster right now because I have to turn around and trade away those guys that we just acquired. So what I'm going to do, go the other way. Gustaf's got like no trade value either. That's kind of funny. So we're going to take Levy. And we're going to take Aberg. And we're going to find a team that's got a lot of free salary cap space. So like Anaheim. Anaheim would be one. Buffalo. Colorado. Oh, they only got like 3. Detroit. A lot of teams are not cap compliant right now. And why is the cap different for different people? It looks like. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll just... And actually, Anaheim's interested in both of these guys, too. Let's see if we can go ahead and flip these guys for another pick since we traded away ours. We're trying to get a 3rd-round pick back. And they aren't interested in that. If we throw in like a 6th, it's probably not going to do a whole lot to move the needle. So instead, since we're just doing this purely to dump cap space, instead of a 3rd, I don't want to add, I want to replace this 3rd. Instead of a 3rd, I'll say a 5th. And they still won't do that. Will you do it for a 6th? This is really poor asset management, but okay. We'll move on to a different team. Buffalo. We're at a 6th. Wow. We might have to give up an asset in this. Let's try this. Let's. You give me a 7th. And I don't have my 7th apparently. Alright, let's do it this way. I think the fact that they don't have any interest in Aberg makes this like also kind of a tough one. We do that. Okay. All we had to do was swap 6th-round picks with them, and they agreed to that trade. So we're going to go ahead now, and I got to sign Besser. We have about $6 million cap space, so hopefully we're able to pull it off. I think this is pretty much exactly the same roster that I had before. Okay, so with that, let's back out real quick. Let's do best lines right now. And we definitely have to make some moves. I don't think we even have like a real third line center anymore. So that makes things a little bit more complicated now. But I think that making that kind of move is going to really help us out in the simulation, especially come playoff time. So let's see what it will take. What are you interested in for a one-way deal? Alright, that's the most amount of cap space that I can offer. I would like to leave a little bit available just in case we need to call anybody up. He's still going to be a restricted free agent after this year, so we can try and navigate this again next year. We'll see if we can go ahead and pull this off. I'm going to simulate a day. We have injuries off right now before we get into the regular season. I did leave a couple days before the season starts. And it doesn't look like he's agreed to anything yet. So what I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and I guess the lines are good for now. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these guys. I'm going to let Barre Boulay in there for now. And I'm going to switch. Actually, Actually, I'll leave Bobby Ryan on the second line for now. And then when he comes back, we'll probably... I guess we don't really have a spot for Kosh anymore. Unless we want to run Timashov as our third line center. Peary's got decent face-offs. Maybe he can slot up Gaudette. I didn't really think about this from that perspective. But I'm just kind of surprised that we were even able to make that kind of trade. But I'm going to run with best lines for now. I'll cut out until we get some news on the Besser contract, and we'll see you just in a little bit. Alright, so what we're going to do to open up some more cap, free up about $5 million, we're hoping that we don't have to take anything major back in this one, but I can also take Peary out since he's only making $1 million. We're going to bundle Gaudette, Peary, and Kosh into one trade. That should free up about $4 to $5 million, and that's about what I thought. So we'll go ahead and do this manually once again. And we'll find a team, whatever team just has the most cap space. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to manually propose a trade. So just whatever team has the most cap space is going to be the one that we try and make this trade with. It's going to be like a swap. We're basically going to be like getting them a 7th rounder or something. And I think Anaheim or Colorado actually makes a lot of sense because these are players that can help them out. And I think they'd be more willing to trade some assets for him. However, they're not really interested in the players. I'm not going by trade value, that's why I didn't see them. I'm not really interested in the players that we have tougher here. So we're going to go Kosh, we're going to go Gaudette. And again, do the same thing that we did last time. Let's just try and get a pick back for them. Like, this is a trade that I think actually makes a lot of sense for Colorado based on the price that we're asking for. 5th round pick. Oh, wait, what? Saving salary to re-sign our pending free agents and not comfortable taking on extra salary as a result. Okay. What about Detroit? Are they going to say the same thing if we ask for a 5th round pick? Why are you worried about placing Derek Stepan on waivers? He sucks. I know, because I almost traded for him. He's not very good in this league anymore, anyway. I think Anaheim's our only option. When you do a 5th round pick. Damn. Yeah, nobody wants to really do this. Did I really sign Kosh to I'd sign Kosh to a 5-year deal. What about Gaudette? Just Gaudette. That should clear up 1.7 mil. Then we'd have about 6 mil to work with. Let's see if he'll take this. Alright, well, should be able to find more partners based on just having Gaudette. Alright, so they'll do it for a 7th. Will they do it? I don't think they'll do it for a 4th. They would do it for a 4th. What about a 3rd? This isn't even a player that they're actually interested in. Okay, so they'll do it with a 4th. I'm kind of wondering if we throw in, well, actually, if we throw in their pick, we could have just done this the first time. Let's just do this for a 4th then. Oops. Alright. Go back to best roster. Auto fix. Because I have an idea what I'm going to do. And actually, I'm wondering, based on like in the system, and I see like Nick Robertson, he's only making .795. I could bring him up. He's only a depth forward according to the game. Or like Gauthier. I could bring up Gauthier and send somebody down. I want to keep Kosh, I think. Because I actually like him as a 3rd liner. And I think we'll play Barre Boulet. I just realized we don't have a defenseman. We're playing a 75 overall defenseman as our backup. I'll have to go sign someone on a 2-way deal if there's anybody available. But if we take Timashov, these guys, Kosh I don't think can take face-offs. 67. Bobby Ryan probably 65. Timashov is a 60. And Geeky's a two-way forward. What about Barre Boulay? He's only a 63, but he's listed as a center. That's very interesting. So I guess what we could try and do. Man, I guess maybe we should have tried to trade Bobby Ryan instead. But I think we'd probably be getting the same message no matter what. So, you know what? Alright. So let's go to edit lines. Oh wait, let's actually go back to we're going to go back one more time real quick. We're going to go back to view contracts. And go to RFA. And if I try, okay, you want like a lot of money on a long-term deal. This might really be strictly a one-year deal. You want 6.175. Is there any way I can knock you down to 6? And the only reason I'm going to try this is because that gives us $1 million left in cap, which hopefully allows us to bring up one or two players if we have to, depending on anything that might happen. We want to advance one more day. We also still have injuries off right now. Tavares is on fire to start this year. And there we go. We got Brock Besser to sign his deal. So let's go ahead. We're going to put him right in that lineup. Let's go ahead. We're going to hit best lines. And we're going to have a filthy first line, I think. Never mind. He's not in he's not in the NHL right now. Hold on. I got to go ahead and bring him up real quick. Actually, you can do it from... I didn't realize that you could also trade players from right here. I would have been using that feature the entire time. After this, we'll go ahead and cut out, and then we'll resume a little bit later on. So there we go. We got Brock Besser in the lineup. We're in the NHL now. And go ahead and best lines. And there we go. Because Bobby Ryan's a fourth liner for us now, just because that's the only way that we can really get this to work. You know what? I kind of like that, though. I kind of like having a sniper down there. He might not produce a lot for us, but it is what it is. Now, we have one of the best lineups in the NHL. We still got that +5 on the top line. We got another superstar X-Factor player. We got Brock Besser, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner. Marner has to lead the NHL in assists this year. There's no excuse for him not doing that. We got Gusev, Tavares, and Nylander as our second line, and then Barre Boulay, Kosh, Timashov, and then a bottom line of Bobby Ryan, Morgan Geeky, and Wayne Simmons. Now, the real question is, do I have anybody else who's scratched right now? We have Brandon Peary, and we have a defenseman in our lineup. Did I actually trade away too many defensemen? And it looks like the answer is yes. So, I don't know what happened. I'm paying enough attention. But I thought I had more defensemen. Alright, I'm going to cut out one more time. Alright, we're going to try and go depth for depth here with Anaheim. We're going to try and get Nathan Beaulieu in exchange for Brandon Peary. And we're probably going to have to actually throw something into this trade, which is not something I was expecting to do. Is there anybody that they are interested in? They actually would be interested in Kosh, but I don't want to really give up Kosh just because of that trade, that salary in those years. I think that value is going to go up if he has a good season. Would they take Ian Scott? Is that enough to push it over the top? Okay. We can go ahead and we can sign another... We can go ahead and we can sign another depth goaltending prospect. I'm not really worried about that. So 1, 2, 3. I should do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's our top 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then in the system, I really want to bring up Robertson. I actually think I'm going to bring up Gauthier instead. Fourth line. I actually don't really know what I want to get rid of. We want to keep Bobby Ryan down there for now. Robertson, we're going to keep in the minors for one more year. He's going to be on the team next year, though. And I think actually we'll do the same with Gauthier. I don't think he's going to progress very much, unfortunately. But yeah, I really like. I want to go all in on this year, so I want to have the better players up right now. And I think this is the best chance that we have in terms of our forward core, and then defense. We can survive like this. And then I'm gonna send Hollowell down, and I'm gonna send Hollowell down because I'm gonna leave injuries off. Leave injuries off from this point forward, so that way it's just whatever the best team is ends up being the best, and we make this challenge a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and edit all the lines, and then I'll be back. As part of my commitment to just making this the best, most reliant on our top 6 team I think I've ever actually seen in an NHL game, this is our starting lineup, and it's really solid, I think. Then we take a look at our defense. We're pretty good. This is the only way I could get it not to cancel out the chemistries, because these defensemen actually really don't fit with our system, like, honestly, like, at all. I also didn't realize, I keep not realizing, I actually have 2 superstar X Factors. I was going to put them together, but it doesn't make much of a difference in terms of chemistry, and I'd rather give Sandin the top 2 ice time for his development, even though he only has top 4 potential. It could jump if he has another really productive year, and we could end up with like an 86 or 87 overall defenseman to pair with Riley, and then we're going to try and get Suter out after this offseason, so I think that would be really solid in terms of that. We'll take a look at the special teams, and our power play, Marner, Matthews, Besser, Riley, Kosh is our top, and then the only reason I did that is because I wanted to give Tavares or Nylander, I didn't want them to end up being on a line by themselves, so I basically kept the first and second lines together, except I threw Kosh in here and moved Sandin down to the second pairing, and I also got Jake Bean. So Suter's not on the power play. 4-best 4-man, and then take a look at our penalty kill. Our penalty kill, I did not realize our bottom 6 didn't really have very many good defensive players, so we just ended up going with Tavares, Besser, Suter, Hall as our top line, and then Marner, Matthews, Sandin, and Riley as our bottom pairing, and that's a +3. So we have basically Matthews is playing is somewhere between a 97 and a 99 overall at all times because of our line chemistry, and then in goal we got Drieger and Djokovic. So basically, whichever of the 2 plays better during the regular season, we'll give that shot during the playoffs. So that's going to wrap up the off-season. I haven't exactly decided how I'm going to divide up these videos yet, so this might either be the end of an episode or the beginning of an episode, and see which one it ends up being. So if it's the end, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If not, let's cut to midway through the regular season.